Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Zebra Marketing Show. Today, we're going to talk about why buyers don't book consultation calls. We've all been there. We're, wanting to book lots of calls, get lots of appointments, and it's just not happening. Or, an offer on our web consultation, and nobody's going to the website and booking a consultation. Well, why is that? Today, we're going to talk about that, and let's break it down. My name's Laura. I am the CEO and founder of Zebra Marketing, and we see businesses who have valuable products and services, but they need a better way of reaching people who need their help. We build modern marketing systems to help them reach more people, generate more leads, and convert more sales to make more money. And on this show, we talk about all kinds of great stuff, great nuggets about today's modern digital marketing. Everything's evolving so fast with AI and automation and all the things that we can do now. So, we talk about all the stuff that really is going to help us today grow our businesses, implement systems, and make sure that we're putting our attention on the right things when, there's so many different things in, our busy lives these days, so many new things coming out when it comes to marketing, and making sense of what's really important and what we really need to focus on and think about can be daunting. So that's what we help people with at Zebra, is to really get clear on what it is that's going to move the needle for them, to help them grow their business so they can have predictable pipeline and hockey stick growth month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year. And if that is something that you're interested in, let's hop on a call together. If these conversations are helpful for you, please do share it with your network. Drop a comment. If you have a question, certainly drop it in the comment section. I will be back to read the comments and respond to any questions that I see there. So if you have a question, if this is something that you'd like to think about a little more, or this is something that you've experienced in your business, certainly drop a comment, drop a question. Helps us engage better as a community. All right. So glad to be with you here today. Thanks for joining me. And let's hop in and talk about why our buyers aren't booking consultations. Why are our appointment calendars not just filling up and overflowing with leads? Potentially. Let's take a look. Okie dokie. So the real reason buyers don't book consultation calls. Let's see. Okie dokie. So the problem usually isn't that your calendar link is broken, or you haven't, set it up right, or, who knows what other kinds of things, but it's not how you set it up or where you put it. It's probably your offer. And when a buyer sees free consultation and, they're just thinking, oh my God, another meeting in an already packed calendar, I don't have time for that. So what buyers actually need is to be given a compelling reason that the meeting will be worth their time, a clear outcome, not an open-ended chat. So, if they wanted to just hop on and have a chat with someone, they can go down the hall and talk to their colleague, they can drop into a Starbucks, so why would they spend time chatting with you? And how are you going to show them that that time is going to be worth their while? Because nobody wants another meeting. Our calendars look like ridiculous already right now. So your prospective customer already has their calendar packed full of obligations that are competing for their attention, and they do not have enough hours in a day. So when you say, hey, let's have a free consultation, to them, they're just like, they're going to try and sell me something and I don't have time for that. So a typical buyer's week, they've got internal meetings, vendor calls and demos, client check-ins, project reviews, back-to-back Teams and Zoom calls. I mean, think about what your calendar looks like. And, where are you spending your time? And when somebody says to you, hey, would you like a free consultation? Is the first thing that pops into your mind, oh yeah, that sounds great? Or are you like, no, I don't have time for that? So if you're thinking you don't have time for that, then why would your customer think they have time for that? So when your website basically is asking them, hey, do you want to put another meeting on your calendar? They're basically thinking like, no, I don't have time to give my time for you to try and sell me something. So why would they spend 30 minutes doing that? So just giving them a calendar link and telling them they can have a meeting is not really an offer. It's not an offer. So what would make them say, this is going to be worth my time to hop on a call with you? It's not, how we set it up. It's not where we put it on the page. It's not any of that stuff. It's what does the buyer believe will happen after they click? If the answer isn't crystal clear, then there isn't enough perceived value to justify the time. So if they don't understand clearly what they're going to get out of spending time with you, they're not going to be motivated to actually spend time with you, because they don't have time to just spend time, not understanding what they're going to get out of it. If they're going to give their time, because, at the end of the day, you can spend money, you can get more money, but you can never get more time. There's only so many hours in a day. Time is the most critical, limited resource that we have. So if you're asking them to spend time with you, you need to give them a good reason. Think about the value exchange. Every conversion is a transaction, even when it comes to time. People think of a transaction, a business transaction, as giving money, but giving time is even more valuable, because we can't get time back. We can't make more time. So, before a buyer books, they're weighing what they're giving against what they're going to receive. So if they don't perceive what they're going to get out of it as being more valuable than the time they're going to put into it, they're not going to do it. So what you're asking for is maybe 30 minutes of their time, their contact info, their undivided attention in a conversation with someone they don't even know yet. And, what does a free consultation give them? Uncertainty. They don't know what's in it for them. They know what's in it for you. They know you're trying to sell them stuff. And, that's not, for you to sell them stuff is not really worth them spending their time. Like, nobody wants to be sold. So a compelling, well-crafted offer answers that question, what's in it for me, before the buyer even has to ask it. So, they shouldn't have to figure out for themselves what they're going to get out of something. So you want to be the doctor. You want to be giving a diagnosis. So buyers don't want a meeting. They want what the meeting gives them. So an answer or diagnosis. You are the doctor. You're going to give them a diagnosis, clarity on a problem that they've been trying to define. Name it, prioritize it, and help them understand it. And then a strategy or plan. Give them a concrete path forward, something they can act on, not just a list of options. And then greater confidence, the assurance that they understand their situation and know what deserves attention first. So sell the outcome, not the appointment. Tell them what they're going to get out of it. If they take 30 minutes out of their day, what are they going to get in return? What is the value you're going to offer them? And why would they, spend 30 minutes of their precious time that they cannot get back with you? So start with the problem they want solved, not the problem you want to solve for them, but what they most want solved. Before writing a single word of your consultation offer, ask yourself the foundational question: what problem is important enough that my ideal customer would gladly spend 30 minutes discussing it? Some ideas for a cybersecurity buyer: how exposed are we, and which vulnerabilities deserve immediate attention? For an IT leader, where are we wasting money or creating unnecessary risk in our current environment? For an operations leader, what's causing this recurring downtime and how do we fix it for good? Start there with their problems, not with your services, your credentials, or your process. Start with their problem and helping them solve their problem. And when you're helping them solve their problem, you're demonstrating, first of all, that you understand their problem and that you understand how to help them fix the problem, and possibly better than they even do. Because, if you can demonstrate that you've done this before over and over again for similar kinds of businesses, they're going to see you as the doctor. Oh, these guys are the experts. These guys made the right diagnosis. And we think these guys can help us heal this problem. They can help us solve the problem. So always start with their problem. What is the biggest problem going on in their mind? And then define the result. What are you going to give them? How are you going to get them closer to making progress towards solving their problem? And, what can they realistically walk away with after 30 minutes? So ideas could be something like: there are 3 highest priority security gaps, a prioritized remediation roadmap, a technology cost and waste analysis, an IT infrastructure assessment summary, a compliance readiness score, a downtime reduction action plan. The results need to be specific, useful, and tangible. So don't pick like a bunch of problems. Choose one problem. Solve one problem, one specific thing, and give one quick win. Not like, hey, we're going to solve your entire life in a 30-minute call. You want to think, okay, what are we going to give them out of this? And, on that call, you may discover there are other issues, and that's fine. But what we're talking about is how to get them to say yes to getting on a call with you. So if they don't perceive, they may be thinking, okay, this is our problem. Hey, they're going to help me solve this like specific part of this problem. That's worth my time. They get on the call, you help them solve that problem, and then you ask them a couple questions, finding out what are their other problems. Well, now you're opening up more gaps, more opportunities, more possibility for them to see how you can help them. But you had to get that opportunity in the first place to even get them to spend their time. So that's what we're talking about here, is how do we get them to say yes, get them on the phone or on the Zoom or on the Teams or, Google Meet, whatever you're using. So before and after for cybersecurity, the service doesn't change. It's not the conversation changing. It's the framing. Like I said, how are we getting them to say yes to spending time with you? And you want to make a specific promise with a specific offer. Once they're on the phone, deliver on that promise. And then you also can take the opportunity to ask them more questions. uncover more gaps. So for cybersecurity, maybe it's, you know, the original offer is book a free cybersecurity consultation. And again, first of all, I don't like using the word free because in people's minds, they equate the word free to having no value. If it's free, it must be junk. Or if it's free, it must not be worth anything, or they wouldn't give it away for free. So if you're going to use something like that, I would call it complimentary, which means it sounds more like a gift than, hey, we're just giving away this thing for free because it's not really worth anything, which is what we sort of come up with in our minds when we hear that word, just because, oh, well, if they're giving it away for free, it must be really cheap or not very good, or, so try and stay away from the word free. But if you're saying, hey, book a free cybersecurity consultation, we'll discuss your cybersecurity needs and explain how we can help. Yay. So, that's the same thing I'm sure like 10 million other cybersecurity companies say, and there's nothing unique or different about it. And I have no idea what I'm going to get out of spending this time with you, other than you selling something to me. So a stronger offer, how to frame it, would be cybersecurity risk prioritization session. In 30 minutes, we'll identify your highest priority areas of exposure and outline the next steps you can take to reduce risk. You'll leave with greater clarity around what deserves attention first. Wow, doesn't that sound way more compelling than, hey, book a free consultation? You actually know in the second offer what you're going to get out of spending that time, and what the end result of you taking that time out of your day is going to be, what you're going to leave with, how you're going to make progress towards solving your problem. It's the same meeting. It's the same 30 minutes. It's the same person, same expertise, salesperson, or whoever it is. Dramatically different perceived value. The customer knows how you're going to help them make progress towards solving their problem. For managed IT, of course, we've got the schedule a free consultation. Let's discuss your technology needs. Big whoop. Let's transform that and say something more like IT efficiency and risk review. We'll examine where your current IT environment may be creating unnecessary cost, risk, or operational friction. You'll leave with a prioritized list of opportunities worth investigating, whether you work with us or not. So, yeah, the customer knows exactly what the outcome of that call is going to be. How are you going to help them make progress towards solving their problem? And yeah, that meaningful progress, given complimentary, is going to be worth it to them if they need to solve that problem. So you're more likely to get them to say, yes, let's spend some time together. The buyer knows exactly why this conversation matters to them before they click the button. If they want to see how they can get these results that you are promising and get that for complimentary, sure, they're going to book a call. Once you get them on the call, you can ask them more questions, deliver on the promise, deliver what you offered, and then ask them some more questions to uncover the gaps. Now you've earned the opportunity to spend time with them. And for technical and industrial B2B companies like oil and gas, manufacturing, renewable energy, the principle scales across every industry. If you're in a B2B company, what does this mean for you? How can you make a stronger offer that gives a promise that helps your customer make meaningful progress towards solving their problem, instead of just saying, hey, talk to an expert, let's get a consultation, where they have no idea what the outcome for them is going to be other than you trying to sell them your stuff. So For example, a stronger offer could be operational downtime review. We'll examine the factors contributing to recurring downtime and identify the highest priority opportunities for improving reliability. You'll leave with a clearer picture of where to focus first. That sounds pretty good. Wow. Less downtime. Downtime is money. If we can save some of that money, that would be great. That's what's going through their head. They're instead of, oh, they want me to talk to an expert. Well, why do they think they're an expert? That's probably more what they're thinking. Or, hey, they want a consultation. Well, they're just going to try and sell me something, So you want them thinking about solving their problem and seeing you as the people who are going to help them get closer to getting that problem solved. So, and they understand that, this is not, you're not doing it just out of the goodness of your heart. They understand, that you're helping them to see if there would be an opportunity to do business together. They get that. But, they are thinking in terms of their needs, not in terms of your needs. So when you frame it in terms of your needs, they see it as they're just trying to sell me stuff. When you frame it in terms of their needs, they see you as the expert trying to help them solve a problem. And that's what we want. So turn the conversation into a result. Name the result in your offer. Name the customer too. Who are you talking to? If you work, I don't know, say you're an IT service provider who works with dentists. I just made that up. But, if that's the case, say it, helping dentists examine the factors contributing to recurring downtime, blah, 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 whatever it is. Whoever it is you help, call it out. And, sometimes we're afraid to do that because we think we're going to alienate people who are not those people. But, when you're too broad with your messaging, people don't understand that you're talking to them. So it's a lot more compelling to say, hey, we help dentists solve this problem than, oh, we help people in the medical community to solve this problem. Like when you say something so broad, people don't think, oh, they're talking to me. When you call out the specific type of business, people think, oh, that's me. Oh, they work with businesses just like ours. And, somebody who helps dentists could still help another kind of doctor, but, they're not that the other kind of doctor can still come and say, hey, can you help me too? You're not telling them you can't help them. You're just making your messaging specific so that the people you want to hear you do hear you. So make the invisible tangible. A consultation feels intangible. Buyers hesitate to invest time in something they can't visualize. They just don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what you're going to tell them or what they're going to find out. They don't know what they're going to get out of it. And when it's nebulous like that, they're like, no, I don't have time for that. The solution, is to give it a deliverable. So a result, a deliverable. We're going to give you this thing or this result. We're going to tell you this information. Without a deliverable, a 30-minute conversation with an expert, the buyer imagines a sales pitch, vague advice, a follow-up email pushing them to buy. They're seeing it as one-sided, and the side that it's one-sided on is yours, not theirs. And, have you ever walked on a car lot because you just wanted to look around and all of a sudden you're being chased by salespeople and you're like, oh my God, people don't like that. They don't want to feel like this is all about you. They want to feel like it's about them. because, they're not in it for you. They're in it for themselves. Hate to break it to you. But, a 30-minute cybersecurity risk review telling them, hey, you're going to leave with your top 3 areas of concern ranked, recommended priorities for immediate action, practical, actionable next steps, a copy of your personalized assessment. Oh, wow, that sounds valuable. I could probably use that. And even if, these aren't the right guys, this is going to be helpful to me. So why don't I hop on that call and get that from them? Well, now they hop on the call and they spend 30 minutes with you. You deliver them the risk review. They love it. You ask some more probing questions, finding out the nature of their true problem. Now you've uncovered the gaps. Now they realize that they have a much bigger problem than they thought they did, and that you are the experts and understand how to solve it. Wow, now you close the deal, and now you've got a customer. So now the buyer can actually visualize what they're receiving in exchange for their time, and the clarity is what converts. So really giving them the clarity on what they're going to get out of spending time with you and really delivering on it. So, you're reducing the buyer's risk. Even a compelling offer creates hesitation if the buyer suspects the meeting is really just a disguised sales pitch. So address this concern head on. Tell them who it's for. Tell buyers exactly which companies or roles benefit most from this conversation. Like I said, be specific. Don't be so worried that you're going to alienate people. People are not going to hear you at all. So don't be afraid to be specific about what types of businesses and what types of job roles or people at those companies you help. What are you going to cover? Outline the agenda so there are no surprises. Let them know, what are we going to do on this call? How long is it going to take? Respect their time. If it's a 30-minute call, get it done in 30 minutes. They didn't sign up for an hour and a half call with you, and, they've got a meeting afterwards. Not to mention, if you're not respectful of their time, that they're going to be, they might have a meeting afterwards, or you might run out of time to complete your call. So make sure you have a plan for how to conduct the call and get it done in the time period that you promised. So what will they receive? Name the deliverable. Is it a report, a priority list, a score, a plan? Give them something concrete. Tell them what they're going to receive. And then what happens afterwards? Let them know what's going to happen. Tell them that, what the natural next steps look like, and let them choose. So you can say right up front, this is a complimentary 30-minute, risk reduction assessment. We're going to spend 30 minutes together. This is what we're going to cover. Here is what you're going to walk away with. This is what you're going to be given results-wise. And then if this seems like a good fit and like we're able to help you solve your problem, then we'll talk about what next steps look like. So, you don't have to pretend like this isn't about assessing fit for you as a vendor. You can say, if it looks like this is a good fit, then we can talk about next steps in partnering together. They know that you're not doing this just out of the goodness of your heart. They know that you're doing this to acquire more customers. They understand that. They just don't want to spend time with you if they're not going to get anything out of it. And it's all one-sided, and it's about you, getting new customers, and not about them getting, results for the time they spend with you. So giving clarity reduces friction. When they know what to expect, they can assess for themselves whether it's worth it for them to spend their time. And the other thing to think about is that buyers can be in different stages of their journey with you. So we call that the customer journey. And, you know, at any one time, something like only 4% of customers are actually ready to start doing business with someone. Another some 4% at any time are currently evaluating how to solve their problem. They're researching and they're looking for a partner to help them. But they're still in the evaluation stage. And everybody else, which is like probably over 90% of people, are not really looking right now. And so that's, we've got the researching stage, we've got the evaluating stage, and we've got the ready to act. So we're really only talking about like maybe 8% of prospective buyers who are in these 3 stages, and everyone else is in what we call, either the unaware stage or the aware stage. Aware means they know that this is a problem that exists that people have. Maybe they are also aware that you are a company that solves it, maybe not. But if you think of the entire planet, most everyone is probably unaware of your business and what you do, unless you're like somebody like Google. So this is kind of what we call like the sales funnel is, we start out at the top with like the entire planet and everyone in the world. And then, people start dropping into the funnel as they become aware of the problem existing, aware that they need to solve the problem, aware that you maybe are a company that can help them solve the problem. And, so as they come down that funnel, they start researching. If they know they have a problem, first they have to be aware they have a problem. Then they start saying, well, if we have a problem, how do we solve this problem? So then they start researching to learn how to solve the problem. Then they start looking for potentially vendors. Well, is this something we can solve ourselves? Do we need to find outside help to help us solve this problem? Okay, if we need outside help, who is the best company to help us solve this problem? And then eventually they find out about your company, and then they find out that you offer a complimentary assessment, and as they start to engage with you, and eventually, hopefully, they become a customer. So keeping that in mind, that customers are in different stages of being ready to do business with you, they may not really understand the nature of their problem even. So, one customer may be at the stage of really not understanding the full nature of the problem, while another is a little further along, where they have researched the problem, they understand the nature of the problem, and they understand what kind of partner they need to help them solve it, and they're ready to hire someone. So, and they're just looking for the company that right boxes and has the right capabilities. So there's going to be customers who are in different stages of the buying journey. So you want to keep that in mind. Okay. And so somebody at the stage where they're just trying to understand the nature of the problem, they're going to be looking for like educational resources. Whereas somebody who is looking for a vendor is going to be looking for more like trust signals from you, case studies, testimonials, and reviews that show them that, hey, these guys have done a good job solving this for other people. They're going to be looking for the complimentary assessment or the complimentary offer that you give them to spend time with you, because they're ready to act. So at different stages, you want to keep in mind what their needs are, and so that you can use marketing to keep moving them along the customer journey, so they sort of keep moving down that trust funnel to where they're ready to do business with you. So the cool thing about modern AI technology is we can now create engaging immediacy with our what we call lead magnets or complementary resources. So we can offer like a AI assessment that gives them instant results that they enter their information like, oh, how many systems do you have, and what kind of software are you using, and do you connect the network this way or that way, or blah blah blah, whatever questions that you would typically ask. You can train an AI on the back end to assess their answers to those questions and give them an analysis instantly, in exchange for their contact details that allows you to continue marketing to them. And again, like, people understand that you're not just putting these resources out there out of the goodness of your heart. They understand that there's an exchange going on. You offer them value out of your expertise and resources in exchange for, yeah, maybe they give their contact info and you get to send marketing to them. And these are the kind of directions things are going. If they opt in for complimentary AI assessment or analysis, you can follow up with them with an AI chat agent, and the agent can, discuss with them, answer their questions, and book them into a call. So now you've got your calls filling up on your calendar without having to actually go chase people. If they don't book into a call, it can follow up after 1 hour, after 24 hours, after 48 hours. And these are the directions things are going. And, people want immediacy these days. You can get like an Amazon package delivered in 2 hours. You can get, Uber Eats. You can, like, everything's instantaneous now. People just expect immediacy. So, the benefit of something like this is that there's always a follow-up, that the results get to the customer instantaneously. You don't have to be involved after the initial build out, and then it runs automatically, and it continues to nurture leads. First, give them something of value, and then nurture them into booking an appointment with you without you and your sales team having to be there every step of the way. So your call to action should answer why. Why would they spend time with you? Why would they download a resource or opt in for a resource? Outcome oriented, generic calls to action, however you say that, would be, book a call, schedule a consultation, talk to sales, contact us, learn more. An outcome-oriented call to action would be: get your risk prioritization report, find your top 3 security gaps, review your IT efficiency score, see where downtime is costing you, start your free assessment. These describe the results, and they give buyers a reason to act. They answer why. Why should they do it? The consultation offer formula. Use this 3-part framework to transform any generic consultation into a compelling, conversion-ready offer. Problem: what important issue are we helping the buyer understand, quantify, or solve? Start here, not with your services, not talking about yourself. If you went on a blind date and the whole time you sat there, you were talking about yourself, you probably wouldn't be getting another date. So make sure that the focus is on the customer, not on you. Process: what will actually happen during the conversation? Give the buyer a simple, reassuring picture of the experience. And the payoff: what will they know, receive, or be able to do when the conversation ends that they didn't know or couldn't do or didn't have before? Name it specifically. Specificity wins. And put those 3 elements together, and your consultation becomes an offer, one worth saying yes to. Okay, so build the offer. Watch how a generic placeholder transforms into a compelling offer when the 3-part formula is applied. One, start generic, start with generic free cybersecurity consultation. It's vague. Apply the problem. You're unsure which security risks deserve attention first, and the wrong priorities are costing you time and exposure. Three, define the process. We'll review your current environment together and discuss your biggest areas of concern in plain language. And four, name the payoff. You'll leave with the top 3 priorities and recommended next steps, whether you work with us or not. So the new offer, instead of a free consultation, cybersecurity risk prioritization session, same expertise, completely different perceived value. And I think a lot of us, we think, oh, well, we're so knowledgeable and expert that, people should be clamoring over themselves to book a consultation with us. We're very like, this is just how we are as human beings. Like, we think that we are super great. And I'm sure we are super great, but that, doesn't work when it comes to marketing. Customers need to know why you're so great, and you demonstrate that to them by showing them how you solve their problems. So this isn't really about consultation calls. It's about making every step of your customer journey customer focused. Show them how you solve their problems, not just tell them how awesome you are or expect them to figure out how awesome you are. They need that to be demonstrated to them by you helping them solve their problems. And that's what we call customer focused. So the wrong question would be, what do we want the prospect to do? The right question is, why would the prospect want to do it? So that reframe applies everywhere. Lead magnets, AI tools, webinars, emails, assessments, consultations, and ultimately your services themselves. So take a look at your own offers. Before your next meeting, open your website and find your primary call to action. Then answer these questions honestly. What am I offering? Can you describe it in one clear sentence that a busy executive would immediately understand? What problem does it solve? Is the problem specific enough to resonate, or is it so broad it applies to everyone and speaks to no one? What will happen during it? Does the buyer know what to expect, or are they walking in blind? What will they leave with? Is there a named tangible deliverable or just a conversation? And is that outcome worth 30 minutes? If you can't say yes confidently, your buyer can't either. So, what did we talk about today? Solve a meaningful problem. Solve a meaningful problem. Lead with the buyer's pain point, not your product or process. Promise a clear outcome. Name what they'll receive specifically and concretely. Deliver something tangible, a report, a score, a plan, something they can hold on to after the call. And reduce uncertainty. Set clear expectations. Eliminate the fear that it's just a sales pitch. Don't sell the meeting. Sell what happens because of the meeting. So the customer wants progress. They want to get closer to having their problem solved. So show them how you're going to help them do that. So if you would like me to review your offers, if you would like us to take a look at how you're doing this, what you're offering, how you're getting people in the door, whether that's being done effectively or could there be gaps or opportunities for improvement, type call in the comments. Type the word call in the comments and I'll invite you to a complimentary 30-minute offer conversion review. Together, we'll review the primary offer you're currently presenting to prospects. We'll identify where buyers may be experiencing confusion, friction, or a lack of perceived value, and we will clarify the problem and outcome your offer should communicate. We'll explore ways to make the offer more specific, tangible, and compelling. You'll leave with a clearer offer, and practical recommendations you can implement to improve it right now. We'll actually work on your offer, your current offer. We'll take a look at it. What is it now? During 30 minutes, we'll take a look, analyze, and diagnose what's going on with it. Is it clear? Does it speak to the ideal customer? Does it help solve a problem? Is it specific? Does it give a quick win? And then we'll help you leave with a clearer, stronger offer that's optimized for conversions. Conversions, not just not just, hey, we're gonna hop on a free consultation and we can try and sell you stuff, but make sure the value is clear to them that they would want to spend time with you so that they are ready to say yes. All right. If that is something you would like to do, drop the word call in the comments and we can take a look together at whether your offers are compelling, how you're presenting them, and whether they are set up to where the customer is, going to say, that sounds like a good use of my time. Let me hop in with them. All right. So I would love to hop on a call. If that sounds like something that you'd like to find out more about, drop the word call in the comments and I will let you know how we can hop on a call and help you get closer to compelling, clear offers that help you close deals. All right. Okie dokie. There we go. Hey guys. So thank you so much for hopping in with me today. I hope this has been a valuable conversation. Again, my name's Laura Camrath. I'm CEO and founder of Zebra Marketing. And we see businesses who have valuable products and services, but they need a better way of reaching people who need their help. We build modern marketing systems to help them reach more people, generate more leads, and convert more sales to make more money. If you would like to find out more about that, drop the word call in the comments. I will be back. If you have a question, drop your questions in the comments. I will be back to answer any questions and respond to your comments. And if this was valuable for you, please do share it with your network. If you know someone who might be able to improve their offers or who might need a little bit of help with their marketing, please do share this with them. We're going to be hopping in here every 11 a.m. on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Central Time. And we will be talking about all kinds of marketing topics to help people be more successful in their businesses and grow their companies and earn more revenue so that they can be wildly successful. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. I hope this has been a helpful conversation for you. Thanks again for hopping in, and we will see you soon.